Yes, they can learn at high levels, and here's how you make it happen. And so when you're able to do that with your teachers, and they start seeing those successes with their students, it sells itself to them.
Motivating your teachers using well-trained, well-respected consultants is one of the best practices for a successful Common Core Standards program. That's one of the main points highlighted by Kenton County School District Superintendent Dr. Terri Cox-Cruey at the Grantmakers member briefing. Her and other school leaders gave a detailed look into this Kentucky school district's journey of adopting Common Core standards using a math and literary design collaborative.
One thing that we did learn kind of by trial and error is that we needed the content expertise. We needed people who were, first of all, believable to the teachers, that they knew their stuff, that they had respect for them as a teacher themselves, and you have to have that high level of expertise. What we have found where they try to replicate it even across our state, what I see, is sometimes they have hired people who haven't lived it and haven't really worked on those lessons, and they're just trying to speak it, and I think that's a danger, and I wouldn't want to go back and do that.
Kentucky is a Common Core Standards pioneer, the first state to adopt the program in the fall of 2010. Promoting Common Core Standards was one of the early challenges.
Reporters, newspaper reporters, they don't quite understand the Common Core as well. And so it can be intimidating to speak to the media because you always think it's going to be a negative slant. That's not the road that we have gone down. We've had a positive, proactive communication plan with this from the beginning. And we've gotten great feedback from local media here in Cincinnati. But we've had so many reporters and newspapers come out and interview us on this. And again, we've been proactive with that message. And they want to hear from teachers and students just like you guys do. So it's not just myself or Jenny, Gary, Missy doing the interviews on this. We've let our teachers and our students speak for us. And I can't tell you how many times the media has said, wow, that really brings light to what's going on in the classroom.
And also demonstrate their literacy skills.
Kenton County math and literary consultants are charged with implementing the program in the 18-school K-12 district.
The Kenton team has been on this journey with us from the beginning. Literacy Design Collaborative started the work started in 2010, and Math Design Collaborative work began in some pilot districts. It has grown from those 5 districts, probably in literacy and 5 in math. We're probably affecting more than 400,000 teachers around the country at this point in time. There are places this work is going on that we're not funding, believe it or not. I mean, people like the work. There are sometimes, what you heard Dr. Cox-Cruey say is that the teachers so engaged in the work, which you'll see the team tell you about, they were excited about it. It's the Common Core in practice. I always say teachers need to see it. They need to know what it looks like. They need to know what it feels like. So after you experience this, after they experience it, like, oh, that's what you meant by mathematical. That's what you mean by productive struggle in a math class. That's what you mean by a text-based question, and how do you dig into that, and how do you scaffold the learning for kids?
They have that high level of expertise that teachers then say, they do have something that I can learn. I want to work with them. Because if you do it the other way, I don't think you're going to get buy-in from teachers, and that's sort of been an observation as the state tries to replicate.
You're here to see the LDC and MDC work and let them talk about it, not because it is the only way to deal with the standards. That is not what we're saying. But what we're saying is it's a really good best practice on what it really looks like in a classroom.
We wanted to have our teachers, in collaboration with us, really dig into the standards themselves and understand the shifts that existed with LDC and MDC. And then really consider what can we do differently in what we're currently doing to put these shifts in practice. And then what does that mean for day-to-day instruction? What does it mean for our teachers? And then reflectively, what does that mean for our kids and the impact it's going to have on them? Because again, we wanted to look at it from a day-to-day project, not just LDC and MDC modules, although of course that was our biggest catalyst and one of the vehicles to get us there.
Show me everything that you know about percents.
Grantmakers attending the member briefing participated in Common Core lessons used in Kenton County classrooms.
Today you guys are going to see a snapshot of how one of those cadre meetings would go on a normal basis.
They also learned firsthand
And
student
it's kind of, preparing us for the real world.
and teacher perspectives how Common Core Standards learning delivery has tied schools together.
Units weren't even created similarly in various schools. I mean, some schools taught by genres, some schools taught in just thematic units, however they made them up. And I wouldn't even say there was consistency within each school building. So this is, and this is why, I mean, when you ask if all teachers are okay with this, all teachers are stakeholders in this program, and that's what the cadre meetings allow us to do, because we all meet together to develop these units. So it's not as if two of us go off and we do this and we hand it to other teachers and say, all right, this is what you get to do. I mean, I wouldn't say there are disagreements in our meetings. There are. We're professionals. It happens in any business, but we come upon agreements, and we all have the units that we like more than others, and that's true also. But no, I would say that the Common Core Standards have really led to this consistency and throughout the district.
If you asked her, is this right? She'd say, what do you think? And I really couldn't stand it at first. It drove me crazy because I just wanted to know if I was right or wrong. But then at the end of the year, having went through it and realized I actually know it, because I couldn't tell you what we learned in second grade math. I'm pretty sure it was times tables or something. But other than that, I don't remember it. But last year, I can remember every single thing that we did. I can remember exponential growth and the Pythagorean theorem and square roots and all of that. Because it was done in a way where instead of being taught, you had to learn.
If I could put myself in your shoes, you just saw students, and right after that, you saw teachers and working groups. What I would like to know is, anybody have any thoughts or comments on the interaction between the two? What you noticed, if there were things that echoed through what the students said versus the teachers working in groups? Because you got a perspective that I didn't get. I managed a teacher group, and we very intentionally stayed out of the student groups because we wanted them to be honest, even though they're teachers. We have badges and stuff, so we didn't want them to be intimidated.
High expectations and consistency. I mean, I've never heard a group of students who are from different schools actually be able to reference similar lessons and expectations anywhere.
Yeah, so in the student group, one of the comments that the student made was about how they thought that this was really going to help them in real life, and the kinds of problems, it's the kind of things you need to be able to do when you're an adult. And in the teacher group I was in, one of the teachers said about, and you were in there, one of the teachers said something about looking at the standards and saying, and asking her students, is there anything in these that we're doing today that you shouldn't be able to do as an adult? I mean, are these the things you should be able to do as an adult? And they all said, yeah, this is the stuff based on what my dad says or other people, that this is what adults do. They need to be able to do.
I've heard this other places too, and it's just always so exciting to hear when kids and teachers alike are saying that things are happening and kids are doing things that they didn't think that they could do. And I think I heard among the students a lot of pride and empowerment about the skills that they were acquiring and the things that they were able to do. And the teachers reflecting on prior practice, being very intervention-based and very teacher-led, potentially having held the kids back because they helped too much. And I always love hearing teachers talk about their own sense of discovery about what students in fact are able to accomplish that they didn't even know they could do.
That in turn is creating a more robust learning environment, making kids more college and career ready thanks to the educational shift using Common Core Standards.